We're Nicki and Carlo and we live in Positano, Italy, except we also just bought a house in Tuscany, which we're currently renovating, so we live there too. Join us as we turn this house and olive grove into a dream home and get to grips with living in two different parts of Italy. And yes, we are back in Tuscany again after a month on the Amalfi coast with family and friends. We're back here and we're going to knuckle down to a load of work. Usually when I'm filming a video, I know exactly what it's going to look like at the end. I have a very clear idea of what I want to shoot and how I want it to be laid out and what music I want. I have a very clear idea in my mind and I know exactly what I'm doing. The last couple of weeks, that superpower seems to have deserted me and I have not been very cohesive with what I've been filming. So I now have a selection of bits and pieces that I never really thought about thoroughly, or they didn't turn out how I expected them to, and I don't really know what to do with them. Do I show them? Do I throw them away? Do I try and do something else? So here I am sitting in our garden back in Tuscany and I'm going to try and talk you through the last week or so. So first of all, we went to Gragnano and Castello, me, Carlo and our friend Fabrizio, and we went to have a little explore around some of the old watermills where they used to make pasta. So Gragnano is a town on the outskirts of Naples where there used to be, there still are pasta factories. Pasta from Gragnano is world famous. And in the olden days, the grain for the pasta would be ground in these mills that were powered by water from the streams coming down the mountains. And a lot of these mills are still there and they're completely abandoned. So we went to explore for a while. From there, we decided to go to a little village called Castello and see if there was any cherry blossom still. We're just coming into the little hamlet of Castello, and this is where I came about 10 years ago, and we did the cherry harvest for a British TV show, and it was a very pretty little town full of cherry trees. In fact, there's one right here. While wandering through the streets, we found the most incredible lemon pergola. I've never seen anything like it. I've always seen lemons growing on trees, never on a trellis like this. Isn't it beautiful? The sleepy hamlet of Castello is known for its cherry orchards overlooking Mount Vesuvius. In June, the village comes alive as people flock to help harvest the cherries, picking, sorting and boxing them up to be sold before enjoying themselves at the evening cherry festival in the village square. I think we were inspired to visit Castello after our daughter Sky and her boyfriend Nicola's recent trip to Japan, where they were lucky enough to see the beginning of the cherry blossom season in Osaka and their photos of Mount Fuji in the distance. The next day, Elizabeth called me and asked me to meet her at 9 o'clock in the morning with no explanation of where we were going, and she ended up taking me to meet her new pet rabbit. She's picking up another rabbit to be friends with Frida, the rabbit that she already has, who's a beautiful little thumper style floppy-eared bunny, and we found this beautiful blue rabbit, grey blue rabbit, and he's going to be called Carlo. So Frida and Carlo, and she's going to pick him up fairly soon, I should expect. So that oh wow.
Tu hai visto Frida, la mia? È
Ma
bellissima.
io l'ho vista quando siamo andati a giocare
Non
assieme.
sapevo, se no io non ti mandavo.
No,
Oh, you're so
no.
beautiful.
Io amo il
This is the rabbit that Elizabeth is getting. Look how beautiful. What a beautiful colour. Smoky grey. What have you seen now?
This is paradise. Baby, go. Baby. Pipì!
Ha fatto le qui vicino sopra il...
Le zampette! Diventare positanese! They are gorgeous! Questo è Carlo. He will be Frida's partner.
Metto fuori alla cassetta, ci butto la paglia su, quello si ci va a sedere sopra. Ok?
Sì.
Good morning. This is the reality of living in Positano. I've just walked all the way up the 465 steps to the road with Carlo. We were going to go for a dog walk and then I was going to go and meet Elizabeth. She's going to call me when she was ready. And I got all the way to where I parked my scooter and realised that I left my phone at home. And there's no way I could have done without it because I've got a ton of things to do. I've got to go to Sorrento to the vets and pick up some stuff, and I needed the vet to call me to tell me if she was ready or not, and possibly wanted to film a bit of video. Can't do any of that without my phone. So I had to go all the way back down. It was on the table in the living room. And now I'm climbing up the steps for the second time today before 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's my exercise done for the day. Anyway, I'm going to meet Elizabeth. We're going to go for breakfast or brunch at this point at Casa e Bottega, our favourite place, which was just reopened yesterday apparently. So I'm looking forward to that because obviously I haven't been for a long time. And then it looks like I'm going to have to drive over to the vets and pick up the dogs' passports because I've just had their rabies vaccines done so that they can come to England with us if necessary. Have to keep that updated every year. So that's done. What I didn't mention after breakfast with Elizabeth and my visit to the vets was when I actually got back to Positano and I parked the scooter and I carried the shopping down all the steps, I got home and I'd left my keys in the ignition of my scooter. So yet again, I had to go back up all the steps and back down again to get back into the house. What a nightmare.
Domani ritorniamo in Toscana e quindi vogliamo portare con noi alcune piante che abbiamo qui, quindi sono andato a prendere degli attrezzi, questo tipo e anche questo qua, per tirarli via e portarli là, vedere se riusciamo a fare questo trapianto.
Yeah, we've already taken a few plants there. We've taken some of our climbing roses that climb up the wall behind us, and they are growing slowly but surely. They're growing in Tuscany. So we're going to take a few more other things and just see how many plants we can grow there. Now, if you've been following us for a few years, you may remember quite a funny scene probably 4 years ago when we transplanted this Regina Stellizia from a vase.
Sterlizia reginae.
Okay, whatever. From a vase outside the French doors and put it here, and it was quite a scene because it was Luca, Nicola and Carlo all together trying to move it, and it was proved to be very stubborn and difficult to get out of the vase.
Sì, era una scena molto divertente,
Yeah,
me la ricordo bene.
Now look how big it is. It has grown enormous. It has tripled in size.
Allora, questa cosa potrebbe essere più difficile di quello che pensiamo, perché io in realtà non ho mai trapiantato una parte della sterlizia, perché questa cresce sul tronco principale. Le radici del tronco principale sono qui Quindi quello che sto sperando è che alcune di queste nuove piante hanno messo delle radici loro, in questo caso non è così. Proviamo con un'altra, tanto comunque hanno fatto tanti figli, diciamo, quindi qualcuno possiamo portarlo via, almeno ci proviamo. Fare un buco più grande. Ah, ecco, vedi, lì c'è una radice, vedi?
And what about the little ones that we cut from here the other day?
Ah, e di là, adesso te la faccio vedere. Intanto portiamo anche questa.
Okay.
Non con tutto il terreno, scuotiamo e tiriamo fuori la pianta, le portiamo senza il terreno, questa resisterà bene. Però fa dei fiori viola molto carini.
Okay.
Questa è quella pianta che fa i campanelli rossi. Dovrebbero essercene delle altre, adesso le vado a prendere. Un'altra che vorrei portare è questa qui.
Oh, I like this one.
Sì, sembra un hibiscus, ma non è. Anche questa è senza radici. Sono tutte senza radici.
Maybe we should find another plant to take with us and buy one of these when we're there.
Vabbè, uno prova, no?
Well, we need to make it smaller anyway, otherwise it's going to take over the whole garden.
Sì,
I mean,
sì,
it's
se no.
enormous.
Questa è un'altra delle piante che voglio portare. È piccolina, è ben radicata, infatti c'ha le radici che vanno già sotto.
È una datura?
Questa è una datura, sì.
Okay.
Questa dovrebbe essere quella bianca, ne abbiamo di due tipi, una è più giallina
Gialla.
e l'altra è bianca.
This is the Seven Sisters Roses, yeah?
Sì, sono quelle là. Vedi, ma stanno già per fare le rose.
Yeah. What were you going to do with this one? Cosa volevi fare con questo?
Queste semplicemente ne ho messe tante, hanno preso tutte, sono tutte nuove piante queste qua. Il posto dove sono non sono bene perché queste pungono tantissimo, ci passi vicino, pam, e ti fai male.
Yeah.
Quindi deve andare via di qua questa.
Can we take it or is it too big?
No, non si può portare, ovviamente la dobbiamo tagliare perché altrimenti soffre la pianta, cioè soffrirà comunque, ma tagliandola in altezza e prendiamo
okay. No,
più
because for me, the fact that it's already grown is good, but if we've got to cut it back...
Ti crescerà. Sì, certo, la cosa migliore sarebbe portarla con tutto il vaso e quindi tutto il terreno, ma chi lo porta via da qua? È troppo pesante. Aspetta, tanto tutto il terreno qui. Qua. Ecco. Adesso però la dobbiamo accorciare.
Now you can't. You jealous though. Bye. Bye.
We are supposed to be leaving and heading back to Tuscany, and I woke up at 5:30 this morning because I thought we can get an early start and get going, but things have happened, so we're not on our way yet. It's now 8 o'clock. Carla decided to clean the pool first, which makes sense, but it's supposed to be very, very, very windy tomorrow, and we're going to shut the pool, we're going to put the cover on it. So he's cleaning it first, and then the pump exploded and water was going everywhere and there's lots of swearing, and I think he's got it all fixed, fingers crossed, because if this happens when we're not here, it's a nightmare. We've got to figure out what we're going to do. So he's going to go down with the heavy bag and the plants that he's taking, and I'm going to go up with the lighter stuff and get the car and drive down and meet him, and then we'll get on our way. It all seems very, very complicated. It's much, much easier leaving from Tuscany. At least we don't have to close up the house because Sky and Nicola are still living here. So that's handy. They've just left to go to work. We've just got to cover the pool and then we can get on our way. It might look like we always work well together, but don't be fooled. We were bickering here about who knew best how to anchor the pool cover to the deck. Finally, we set off. I took the dogs for a quick walk, or tree climb in Indy's case, before picked up Carlo and the plants and started the drive up north. The drive back to Tuscany was completely uneventful. There was no traffic, everything went smoothly. We stopped for lunch and had a walk with the dogs to give them a break from the car. We got home mid-afternoon and the next morning went off to the market to do some shopping and stock up on fresh fruits and vegetables.
Grazie mille. Arrivederci, buona Pasqua.
Arrivederci. Ce la fai?
Siamo qui.
Buona giornata però.
A me niente.
Prima le signore.
Grazie.
Sì,
Io pensavo di andarsi via e rimanevi.
l'abbiamo preso uno, sono buonissimi.
A te.
Grazie.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Buona giornata.
Dai, stai portando tu questa busta per...
but this is such a luxury because the car is literally right round the corner and I don't have to do 500 steps, so I can carry it.
Dove vai tu? Senti, ma non c'è niente di più facile qua,
It's so easy. Right. We're in our favourite second-hand shop and just looking at this vase, but look behind the vase, look at that fountain.
Sì, voglio quella io, voglio quella.
I want that in the
Mettiamo
garden.
in mezzo al giardino.
Amazing. What do you think, guys? Do we need a fountain? We're in another second-hand shop and I have just found this. Now, I've been looking for some sort of embroidered or tapestry or wall hanging to go above the sofa in the main room. Now, this has got a lot of good things about it. The colours are exactly right. It's got the greens and the peachy colours. And it's a nice scene and it's only €30. Size-wise, it's pretty good. It's about 1.5 meters, 2 meters.
Sarà 1,80 m.
Yeah, it's quite long.
Mi piace,
Maybe 1 meter, yeah, 180.
mi piace soprattutto questa scena, gente che mangiano, bevono e si divertono.
It's actually a very similar scene to the cushions on our sofa outside, the Transplants. It's very similar.
Sì.
So I'm going to get that for €30. You can't really go wrong. If I don't end up putting it there, it will definitely find a home somewhere in the house. Sold. Okay, we got it in the car, just about.
Bisogna essere creativi e anche bassi.
Best thing about it was half price, so we got that for €15.
Bello.
So, before we went back to Positano, so about 5-6 weeks ago, I was painting this door. I was giving it a makeover. We put fake paneling in and I was going to paint it all white. Now I've done 2 coats and I don't like it. It just doesn't feel right being white. And in my heart, and many of you are going to be completely against what I say, in my heart, I want it to be this colour, green. So I'm going to go with it. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to risk it, paint it green. If it looks terrible, I might just buy a new door at this point. I'm just not feeling the white. It is brighter, but I just don't like it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to paint it green and I'm going to do it now. Fingers crossed it works. I'm going to go right in with the roller and just do it. And then get all the edges done afterwards. Fingers crossed it works. Could be making a terrible mistake. I've actually got a blanket that colour, so I've actually hung the blanket on the door to see what it looks like, and I think it's going to be okay. I should start in the middle. that is what I had in mind. Still wet and I need to do another coat, but definitely feels better than the white. Might take time to get used to. What do you two think? Do you have an opinion? Such lazy puppies. Getting the right paint colour here can be a bit hit and miss because where we get our paint from, they don't do tester pots. They have a big selection of colour cards and you can choose the colour you want and you can pretty much choose any colour, but you can't take a tester home and try it out on the wall to be sure that it's perfect. So I've made a few mistakes over the last year, and one of the mistakes I made was the pantry where we have all of our tinned food and jams and stuff. I wanted it to be like a rusty dark red and it came out more of a plummy wine colour, like a Bordeaux colour. In fact, I think it was called Bordeaux or Barolo, it was a wine name. And it was never really what I wanted, so I knew that I was going to change it one day. Now that I've painted this door next to the pantry green, it really doesn't go at all. It looks far too Christmassy, so it was time to change it. And I went to the paint store, chose the colour that I hoped was going to work, and while Carlo was having a nap one day, I started painting. By the time he woke up, there was a whole new pantry. And here's the final result. I'm happy with the door colour and I'm happy with the pantry as well. It's not quite the colour I thought I'd picked. In fact, let me show you the inspiration for these two colours together. I have this book here and just the cover of the book. As you can see, the door's a little bit pea greener and the wall is a little bit more mustardy. Now I thought I'd picked out this colour perfectly in the paint shop, but it turns out that the one I picked is not quite the same. It's not quite as yellow, but I'm happy with that and I won't be changing it anytime soon. And that €15 tapestry that I found in the vintage shop is now hanging above the sofa. It's a little bit darker than what I hoped for, but I don't know if I'll find anything else that will go there. So for now, it's going to stay there. And it looks great, I think. Marie came over yesterday and loved it. She said that if I hadn't have bought it, she would. Next week, we're going to be tackling the driveway. I am ashamed to show it at the moment. It is such a mess. The grass has been creeping up onto the gravel over the last year and it's starting to look worse and worse. So we really need to do something about it. We've decided we're going to give it a complete overhaul and separate the grass from the gravel with a divider and get new gravel in and sort it out and just make it look nice and neat and tidy. So that's happening next week, and also we're going to have a special guest as my father is arriving in a couple of days' time and he's going to be here for at least a week, so we're looking forward to that. I hope you can join us next week as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you all on Wednesday on Aperitivo 50.